Hi, my name is Keona Rose. I'm a mother of three in Tucson, Arizona. Gentle parenting to me looks more like not being a pushover. Like I want my children to be uh well mannered and respectful. So therefore I must demonstrate the same thing. And if I were to respond to them in anger, I know that they respond to others in anger as well. So I try to be redirecting at first. And then when they don't listen, I try to be more firm and like, hey, you can't throw things at your brother. I understand you're upset, but throwing things isn't cool. You don't want me to throw something at you, like getting down to their level and talking to them in a way where they can understand and process their emotions and giving them reasons why they shouldn't be doing what they're doing and how to correct it is the most like basic way to do gentle parenting. And then there's situations where it's harder, like if my son is like making a mess or he's like actively like pouring water on his brother in the bathtub, I have to take him and put him to the side and say, hey, you can't be waterboarding your brother in the bathtub. You can really hurt him, okay? You saw that your brother was coughing and he had water in his lungs. You don't want your brother to get sick. So we can't be pouring water on people's heads, okay? So my approach to gentle parenting is basically sitting down with them, telling them the reality of the situation, and seeing how they can correct it and why it needs to be corrected. And there's times where I'm not so patient. Sometimes I'm like, hey man, you gotta cut out. You can't be pouring water on your brother's head, please. Sometimes I do lose my patience, but I try to make sure I do keep the same tone and I do get down to their level so they don't feel threatened. Because children, I'm like three times their size. And if they see me towering over them, yelling at them in their face, they're going to be like, wow, I don't even want to listen to what you're saying. I just want to get away from you. So it's really more about like the way I present myself, the way I talk to them, and the message I'm trying to convey. That's what I try to do with gentle parenting. With my fiance, since he's a bit bigger, he has a deeper voice. He's able to get the boys' attention quicker, and he's able to get the message across quicker since he's bigger and he's scarier looking. But even he gets down to their level and he tries to talk in a more calmer voice. But there's sometimes where we have to get the boys' attention quick. Like if they're about to run in traffic, we're gonna be like, "Hey, get over here," and that's where it just depends on the situation. But it's really in the approach and your mood in that moment. Because trying not to collapse under the pressure of anger is really, really hard. And that's still something that I struggle with. And even when I do like snap, I sit down with them and I apologize. So I try to take accountability into effect all the time, even when I'm right, even when I'm wrong, even when they're right, even when they're wrong. So they understand that it's okay to communicate and they shouldn't have to be scared of me, even when they do things wrong. Because when my parents used to reprimand me for every wrong thing that I've done, I would be too scared to even tell them when I would do things good or when I would do things bad. So I try to do what I would have wanted when I was younger. Through all of my traumatic experiences that I've endured in the foster care system and through my parents, and seeing it in different relationships throughout my life because I'm very observant, I've chose to model it in my own way to where if I ever did become a mom, which I now am, I would be able to demonstrate it in a way where it's not so scary because this world is such a scary place. I don't want my kids to feel like that even with me. So it is kind of sad in a way where my traumatic experiences modeled me to be such a resilient person, but it did benefit me in a lot of ways because it showed me not a step by step, but more of a trial and error way to go about life.